Okay, good luck to everybody. And as we begin Seder Nezikin with Masechta Baba Kama, there's so much information you could give in a Hakdama. My previous experience is that it's forgotten in a minute or two, so it's not to give a big Hakdama is. But I was thinking one thing: we're all aware when we learn something, we learn brachas. We're aware of our Chaim. We're aware of Yeridea. We learn Issa Beheta. We're aware of Eben Ezra to some extent. We're aware of it, even though we don't feel it's like Ayatos. We learn Yavamis. I mean, Kedushin Baruch Hashem, we're married. Hopefully we don't need. But I'm saying, it has a shaykhis to us. The one Seder Kachim doesn't have a shaykhis to us, and Tyrus, with the exception of Tyrus and Mishpacha, doesn't have a shaykhis to us. The one Seder really does have a shaykhis to us, and we're not as diligent in it, is Choshen Mishpat. Dinei Mamonis is Choshen Mishpat is Dinei Mamonis. It's Nageya in every single aspect of our life, and primarily it's the three Babas: Baba Kama, Baba Metzia, and Baba Basra. And the one that we start off with, the Baba, is the question: what does Baba mean? So some people say Baba means the gate. So Baba Kama is the first gate, Baba Metzia is the middle gate, Baba Basra the last gate. Some people say it's Chalukah, that we divide up the Babas into three Chalukah. Chelik Kama is Aramaic for one, Metzia, and so that's the question. Now, the Baba Kama deals primarily with halachas of Nezikin, the damages. Now, damages can be in different venues. So we primarily damage, I think we think of either one or two things. We damage a person or we damage a person's property. So damaging a person is Perek HaChovel, it's the 8th Perek, and damaging a person's property, Odam HaMazik, we'll be touching throughout the Masechta. But the beginning of the Masechta is where it's called Niskei Mammon, where your object goes ahead and does damage. But your object goes ahead and does damage. That's really the first 6 parokim of Baba Kama primarily deal with your mammon, your property doing damage, or some object, even if it's not your property that you're responsible for, right, doing damage. It's the beauty of Baba Kama is similar to Yavamis. The first 6 parokim are like one big inyan. It repeats itself. So in the beginning, it might be a bit scary, because if you don't remember all the things that we've discussed over the years, or you don't remember from yeshiva days, but once you get into it, it becomes like riding a bicycle. So it's very, very, very good in that manner. So I think it's for me, it's very exciting. It was the first Masechta I learned after I got married. I heard shiurim from my Rabbi Zatzal on it, and today as I was preparing, it was resonating in my head. I'm going to share with you, Bez Hashem, I'm going to share with you, when we open up, I'm going to share with you just the cover of my Rebbe Zatzal. Such a beautiful, beautiful idea of what's going on. Now, I asked all of you to go ahead and take a look in Parshas Mishpatim, because it will make us understand things better. But even if you didn't, I think before we open up the Perek, we should look at the chart that I have. Do you have it on your phone? You should have it. If you don't, I have it on mine. Okay, this chart was made by my brother Zalzan Gesund, who was a Rebbe in the Mir Yeshiva for many years, and basically it encompasses a major component of the beginning of the Masechta and throughout. So if you look on the right side, we have Shor is in 3 different ways: Keren, Shein, V'Regel. Now, these are called Avis. The reason they're called Avis is because they're written in the Torah. To be an Av, you have to be written in the Torah. We're going to have on Daf Dalid, we're going to have different machlokes, how many more Avis Nezikin there are, Geneva, Dalid Behei, Tashlum Masik, Tashlum Kefal. And now you have over here, the pasuk that deals with Keren is, if Yigach Shor is Ish Oyes Isha, if a Shor gores a man or a woman, or V'chiyigav Shor is a Shori Ehu, or if your shor gores another shor. So it's 2 parshas, and we're going to touch upon this tonight. The first one being where a shor that you own damages a person, or your shor goes ahead and damages and damages what someone else's shar. That's what's called Karen. Now, in addition, this is the Av. The Tolda is you don't use your horns, but you use your body. This is called Nekifa. So when you have an Av, you have a daddy, you have a Tolda, you have a baby, you have a child. So they're each one of the various Avos Nezikin have Toldas. So the first one in Karen, for example, which the reason I'm doing it this way, doing it tonight, right, is so you have your cell phone? Okay, so you have to give it good. So you have this chart. You have this unbelievably, again, this chart is really works well. And so we have what's called an Av and a Tolda. So you have the Av is Karen, and the Tolda of Karen, again, I'm just going to go through, just briefly give you an introduction. Negifa and Neshicha. Negifa is pushing with your body, Neshicha is biting, Ravitza is crouching down upon, Beita is kicking. Now, the Gemara is going to ask, I would think that Neshicha is Shane, because it's accomplished with your teeth. I would think Beita is Regel, because it's accomplished with what? With kicking. In fact, it's not. The idea of Karen is not the actual horn. It's what's behind it. When a shor uses its horns, it's kavanasei lahazik. It's something that it wants to do damage. So the denominator, the definition, the identifying factor of Karen is that it's kavanasei lahazik, and it's tremendous nafkaminas because Karen is chayiv rishus harabim, and there's a din of chatzi nezek. In other words, to define, you can't just say, okay, it's damage, pay up. It's not such thing as damage, pay up. You have to define what exactly is it, because there are tremendous nafkaminas in halacha, based upon the definition. So, for example, Shane has hazanah. So when it rubs against the wall, there's no shame involved in rubbing against the wall, but the animal rubbing against the wall itself is hana. So again, and therefore it would be pater rishus harabim. So it's very important to define exactly what it is. So again, we're going to be referring to this chart many times, and the opening line of the Masechta is the four of us Nezikin, and we're going to get into the Toldos, and the Tolda that we're going to do tonight is the Tolda of Karen. So you have a little introduction over there. Be aware that you can have a shar that's not a shar. You can have a shar that's not a shar. I'm going to share with you the words of my Rabbi Zechat Tzadik Kadosh Livracha. I still resonates in me the opening line of the Masechta. So he said, Arba Avos Nezikin, Hashar v'habar v'amav v'hevet. So when you think of a shar, what do you think of? You think that I own it and it's a live animal. Good? I own it and it's a live animal. We're going to see on tomorrow's daf and daf vav, if I take some type of object and I put it in rishus harabim and I'm not mafker it, I put something in rishus harabim and I'm not mafker it, you think it's a bar. That's only according to Shmuel. According to, guys, listen to this. According to Rav, if you maintain ownership of an object and you put it in rishus harabim, it's a shar. You hear this? So it's not a live thing, but the chiyuv is shar and it's keren because shame for regal and part of rishus harabim. So the Rosh Hashiva said it's interesting. You can have a shar that's alive and you own. You can have a shar that's you own but it's not alive. And then you have a shar on daf nun vav. If you take someone else's shar and put it on somebody else's object and eats it up, so you be chayiv al swat al shar. It's not yours because it belongs to your friend and it's alive. So my Rosh Hashiva said you can have all three variables. I can have a shar that I own that's alive. I can have a shar that's not that I own but it's not alive, and I can have a shar that's not my shar and alive. So Rosh Hashiva said that you can have so many variables, but the point is that to just define shar as, oh, it's a shar, that would be very, very limiting. That would be very, very limiting. Now, okay? So Be'ez Hashem, I wish a lot of Atzlacha. We'll be going back to this chart. And just one more thing. This is Rosh Hashiva spoke it out, Barichas. where's the issa to do damage? Now, when you go ahead, you think of it's still a pashit. If you go ahead and damage somebody's property, you chayiv to pay. I tell you, if that the Torah telling me you be chayiv to pay, you wouldn't think you have to pay. I pointed it out when we did the Sechta. It's Daf Yomi Gimel Amid Beis, the top Tosfos in Kedushin, says that Nizikin is like karbonis, like erchin. It's a milda ksufah b'Torah. Without the Torah telling me that you chayiv, you'd say I'm shuldigman, but you walk away. You needed the Torah to tell me you chayiv. It's so interesting because derech by nature you'd say you damage somebody, you chayiv to pay. Where's the issa to do damage? So there's a choshin mishpat dikadin and there's a yaredeya dikadin. In other words, once you do damage, you chayiv to pay. But where is the issa? So there are many, many different opinions. I share with you two. The Stipler says it's a din of Hashavas Aveda. The Stipler says there's a din of Hashavas Aveda. If you're going ahead and taking away somebody's money, you have a chiyuv to return his money. That's the chiyuv. The Yamshal Shlomo says it's a din v'haftor yacha kamoicha. That you want someone to do it to you, you do it to him. But it's interesting that there's a choshim mishpatik din, and then where's the issa to do damage? So again, hang in there, guys. It's not an easy masechta, but it does go ahead and follow. It follows these rules, and Be'ez Hashem will be referring to them. We should have a lot of atzlacha, Siyat Shmaya, and the discuss about Torah. There should be Shalom al Yisrael. There should be all the Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael should be safe and out of that God-forsaken place as quickly as possible. And we should be zeicher to Mashiach. It's kind of Meir B'Yameinu. Arba Avos Nezikin. There are 4 Avos Nezikin, and again, as I told you, what makes a daddy? What makes an av? Rashi says quickly, Avos Karach Lahani Dichsivim B'Kra Behedya. That's written in the Torah. That's written in the Torah is an av. If it's written in the Torah, that's an av. Okay, so Hashor is an av. Now, what shor is a machlokes. We're going to see it's a machlokes in the Gemara. According to Shmuel, it's regel. According to Rav, it's all 3. Karen, Shem, Regel. The habar, both Rav and Shmuel agree it's a bar. The hamave, according to Shmuel, it's Shane. According to Rav, it's Adam. Again, don't have to remember this. I'm just saying it as their pshat. We're going to get through when we get to the Gemara. And the hahever is Eish. So they both agree by bar and Eish. A bar is a bar. An Eish is an Eish. And again, these have very unique ways to go ahead and do damage. And the way they do damage will define exactly what category we'll put it under. And now we have a very, very interesting way of learning. Now, now usually when you learn, you say the chumrah of this one is not like the chumrah of this one. For example, we just did in the Sechta Kedushin, how does Rabbi Yehuda know the daughter of a ger is like the daughter of a chalal? So we went ahead and said, well, we said we have a chalal and you have a almanul kain gadol. A chalal is created through an act of yitzirasai. His creation was what with he had a chumrah. His creation was what with an isser. Mashen kain almanul kain gadol. Mashen almanul kain gadol. The bia was an isser. So each one had a chumrah that the other one didn't have. That's the classic loy harezeh karezeh hatzad shava shebehem. That's the classic. The classic always is, this one has a chumrah, this one has a chumrah, so it can't be that chumrah that causes the thin. It must be a tzad shava between the two. That's not Baba Kama. That's not Baba Kama. Like Hare over here is the kula of this one is not like this one, right? If you look, I'll jump to Tosfos for a second. It says Tosfos, the third Tosfos down. Like Hare Ashar Karei Amave, Pirish. Ein kulasle shel shar. The kula of shor is not like the kula of maveh. The farish mekaman, as we're going to explain later on, right? Okay, so it's a little different than the norm. So here, the kula of shor is not like the kula of maveh. And memelas back in the Mishnah, if I would have listed shor, I wouldn't know maveh. If I would have listed shor, I wouldn't know maveh. So in other words, according to Shmuel, if I would have listed regel, I wouldn't know shane. According to Rav, if I would have listed shar, all 3, I wouldn't know Adam. And the qualities of maveh would not like the shar. They both have ruach chayim, whatever shar has ruach chayim, and maveh, whether it's shane or it's a person have ruach chayim. So therefore, if I would have listed shar, I couldn't learn maveh from it. If I would have listed shar and maveh, I couldn't learn eish from it. Let's see Rashi, guys. Lehari shar karei maveh, kloimar. Ikosav rachmana shar loinafik maveh minei. If I would have written all three like Rav or regular according to Shmuel, I couldn't learn out maveh from it. V'amtu lahachi, and because of that reason, it's tzrichu lemichtiv. It's tzrichu lemichtiv. Well, you had to write them out. In other words, we know the Torah is mekatze. Why don't you just write one thing and learn from it? And the answer is you could not. You could not, because the characteristics are so different. You couldn't learn one from the other. Guys, look at the Mishnah. It should say lehari ashar karei abar. If you go according to the order, it should say lorei ashar karei abar, but it skips bar, right? It says lehari ashar karei amaveh. Why do we skip bar? Says Rashi. Lahari ashar karei abar mishum the sula vimatzi lemisti. You couldn't learn the next in. What's the next in? Leizev izeh shar and bar sheish ben ruach hayim. It's not true. Bar doesn't have ruach hayim. You won't be able to say it. So therefore, because I wanted to say leizev izeh sheish ben ruach hayim, I had to go ahead and say maveh. Because again, say according to Rav and say according to Shmuel, we're dealing with living entities. We're dealing with living entities. But if you would have learned it in that order, bar, you could not have said that statement. Right? Shem ruach hayim. V'oid, another reason, time achrina, why do we listen to this order? The revusa shmina, you tell me a chiddush. She'af agav sheish l'shneim ruach hayim. Even though sharu mav have ruach hayim, le'naf echad mechavrei. In other words, guys, you would know clearly you couldn't learn shar from bar from shar. They're so different. But when they're so similar, I would say, oh, they're so similar, maybe you could. So that's a bigger chiddush. So another two reasons we went out of order. One, to list the Ruach Hayim, and Svein tell me the bigger chiddush that despite the fact that Shar and Bar are Shar and Maver are similar, and Bar is dissimilar, so learn the bigger chiddush. Okay, so what do we see so far? We have four of us. The Zikin, you can't learn out any from anything. So far, you can't learn out the one from two, and you can't learn out Bar also, because Bar does not have Ruach Hayim. Not Bar, I said Eish. Now, so therefore, I had to write shar, I had to write maveh, and I had to write eish, because eish doesn't have ruach hayim. Now, why did I have to write bar? Continues on. Shar, maveh, and eish can all do damage beyond their perimeter. They can go out and do damage. Wherever they are, they can go out and do damage beyond the perimeter. Kaharei bar, they're not like bar. She'ein darka leilach lahazek. A bar is, as we're going to see, a bar is stagnant. It stays in one spot. Okay, so now, you had to write all of them, right? Now, Hatzad Shava Shavehen, what's the Shad Shava between the Arba of us and Zikin? Is Shedark and Leilach, the Derech is Shedark and Lehazik. It's the Derech to do damage. Ushmirasan Alecha, there's a Chiyah of Shmira on you. Ukishahizik, and when you do damage, Chava Mazik, the Shalim Tashnur Nezek, Meitav Aretz. We're familiar with different qualities of land, right? There's Idius, Baininus, and Ziburius, right? We spoke about the Balchoy. Really, the Balchoy should play with Ziburius. Shleitinal Delis, if they love him, we incentivize him by going ahead and paying with Baininus. Subasishus be Ziburius, right? And really should be Baininus, but Risha, set the best. Nezikin pays the Idius. Nezikin pays the Meitav Aretz, Meitav Sedeu, Meitav Kama Yishalim, State and Torah. Okay, so very good. So let's see what we have so far. Let's go over the chart quickly and see what we gained from this chart. Okay, we know there's Keren Shem Regel. According to Rav, it's encapsulated in the word Shar. According to Shmuel, I have in the bottom, go in the chart, I put that Machlokes down there. You see it over there? Guys, over here. Rav and Shmuel, look on the bottom left. Bottom left. So Shar is Keren Shem Regel, Shmuel is Regel, Bar is Bar. According to Shmuel, the Mishnah is not speaking about Keren, because our Mishnah is only speaking about Mu'odim Mitchilasan, those that you pay Nezek Shalem right away, as opposed to Keren, which you're going to pay Chatzi Nezek. So therefore, according to Shmuel, you want to know why Keren's not listed in the Mishnah, is because it's different, that it's half damages. Our Mishnah is only Mu'id, and therefore Shem. And we said that, again, these are based upon Besukim. So we have, these are all Shar, Bar, Adam, Ve'esh. Where they're written in the Torah, Bes Hashem will see this tomorrow. Shem Regel will see tomorrow. Tonight, all you have to know, fellas, for tonight's share is Higach Isharas Ishrayehu, that's a Shar damaging a man, and the Higach Shar Isharayehu damaging another Shar, and that Shem is Kavanos Lahazik. Now, the Gemara is going to go a bit of a digression in a sense. It's going to focus on the word avos. Arba avos nesikin, it's going to focus on the word av. If it's an av, there's a tolda. We find three places where we find avos atoma. Avos. 1, nesikin, 2, Shabbos, and 3, tuma. Those are 3 places we find the concept of an av. Right? We have by nesikin, by Shabbos, and by tuma. We're going to say we know the halachas by Shabbos, we know the halachas by tuma. What's the halacha what by nesikin? It's going to take us till Daf Gimel Amid Beis to answer that question. Says the Gemara. Mediktani avos, when we learned the word avos, mechlal, we can infer there must be children. Toldais saying kiyaytza behen or lav kiyaytza behen. Is the toldus the same or not? Is the child the same as the av or not? For example, Gabi Shabbos Tanan, regarding Shabbos we learned avos malachos aboim chas achas. There's 39 avos malachos, right? Pachas vayakel. We samech to the malachos and Mishkan. There are 39 avos malachos. Avos by Shabbos, when they say the avos, mechlal, we can infer they could told us that they're children. Told us saying kiyaytza behen, all the told us like them. Loishna av chatas, for loishna told us chatas. Just like b'shoigeg, if you go ahead and mechal Shabbos, you're going to go ahead and bring a chatas. So, for example, if I go ahead and take a seed and I put it in the ground, I'm over on the avat of Zriya. If I take water and water it, I'm over the tolda of Zriya. In either case, if I did it b'shoigeg, I be chayev what? A chatas. In either way, I be chayev a chatas. So the tolda has the same din as the av regarding shoigeg. V'loishna tolda chatas, v'loishna av skila, v'loishna tolda skila. And if I did either of those two actions with edis and asra, I be chayev skila. If any one of those two with edis and asra, I be chayev skila. So there's no difference between what? Between an av and a tolda by Shabbos according to the Tanakama. Umay ikabein av tolda, so my nafkamina. In other words, if they have the same halacha, so why are you calling one a tolda and one an av? There's no difference. Says the word there's a difference. Umay ikabein av tolda nafkamina the ilu avich de avis bahadayadadi. If you did two avis simultaneously, inami shtei toldas bahadayadadi mechayev al kol chada v'chada. You be chayev on each and every one. They're uniquely separate. The ilu ovid av told the day. If I went ahead in my scenario, I planted and watered simultaneously, you only chayev once. So even though if I did it separately, I'd be chayev b'shogeg chatas b'mezit skila. If I did zuriya again, my case planting and watering simultaneously, I would be chayev once. That's the difference between the av and the tolda. Like sort of the av is mevatel the tolda. The tolda is nivla in the av. Fred the Gemara, Rabbi Eliezer the Mechayev told him Makam Av. Like Rabbi Eliezer, it's Chayev told him Makam Av. Am I correlate Av? Am I correlate Tolda? Why is one called an Av and one is called a Tolda? In other words, according to him, the Nafkamina, you be Chayev anyway. You be Chayev twice anyway. So why is one called an Av and one's called a Tolda? So he says, Hach Dahavi b'Mishkan Chashivi. According to there's 2 gerses in Taisvis. Hach Dahavi b'Mishkan Chashivi. All you need is Chashivas. Second one is you needed both in the Mishkan and Chashivas. Correlate Av. In other words, you don't have in the Torah. It doesn't say. It's all a limud, right? Says Rabbi Eliezer. The way to define what an av is told is more in its whether it's chashiv or not, or whether it's the Mishkan or not, or you needed both. That would define it. But in halacha, it doesn't seem to be an afkamina in skil or streif or chatas. It doesn't seem to be a difference. Says the Gemara Vaita. So there by chashiva karle tolda. So now we know by Shabbos the avos and toldas are the same. Gabe tuma tanan avos atuma. There are avos atuma. So for example, hasheretz, one of the shmeina shvatzim and pasha shmini when they're dead. Shifva zera amid beis. V'tamei mace, someone who touches a mace, not a mace itself. Mace itself is not a voice. Someone who touches a mace, and those are avos atuma. Told us sayem lav kiyaytza behen, and the told us are not like them. Why? The ilu av mitama ada v'kelim, an av can be mitama ada v'kelim. The ilu told oichlin umashki mitama adam v'kelim loy mitama. It can be mitama food and drink. It can't be mitama adam. So, for example, if I touch a mace, I'm an abatuma. If I touch a kli, right, or another person, they are rishon. If that rishon touches another person, that person's tahar. If that rishon touches a kli, that person's tahar. That rishon only has the capacity to make a sheni. Can only go ahead and transmit it one level down. So the tolda, in this case, the tolda is the rishon. It's the tolda of the av. Can only be mitama eichel can't be tama eichel. So tolda saying like kiyaytzben. So on one side we have Shabbos tolda saying kiyaytzben, loishna av loishna tolda chatas, right? Skila. And we have abatuma. It's totally different, meaning the extent that the tuma is cholish, it's weaker by the tolda than it is by the av. Question, and the Gemara's question is, what about nezikin? Right? The Gemara, what about nezikin? It says the Gemara over here, hachabai. What's the din by nezikin? It's told the saying kiyaytzeben alav kiyaytzeben. So now that's why we have to get into the Gemara and go through every single av and its tolda, which is going to take us another blot and a half, blot and a half, because you're going to have to go through the av, its various tolda, and then go ahead and compare, is the tolda like the av or not? That's what we're doing right now. In other words, it's going to be a little while. Says the Gemara, hachamai amrav papa yesh men kiyotze behen v'yesh mehen lav kiyotze behen. You have one that are like them and one is not like them. You have some that are like them and some that are not like them. Okay, so now we have to find it. Tan Rabbanan, Gimel Avos Nemru Bishar. So we're starting off. There are three Avos. It says Bishar. What are they? HaKeren, VaHashen, VaHaregel. Now these are all Avos. Why? Because we know that they're all written in the Torah. All of these are written in the Torah. The Psukim are on your chart. Okay? The Tan Rabbanan, here you go. Ki Yigach. The Pasuk says, V'chigash shor es ish oy es isha. If a shor gores a man or a woman, and they die, you have to kill the shor, and you can't eat it. It's asabana. This is the classic shor haniskel. Right? A shor haniskel can be either an aveira of this was done to the animal, or it went ahead and it was judged in Bezdin for having killed a person, and that's a shor haniskel. So it's asabana, and this is the lashon of ki yigach. So this is keren, ki yigach's keren when you kill a person, and it's a av shenamar. Now, how do you know that it doesn't say anything about a Karen? How do you know the Gicha is with Karen, fellas? It doesn't say anything about a Karen. It just says Lashon of the Gicha. Shenemar, it says, Vayasulate Tzidkiyo ben Kenarna. Tzidkiyo ben Kenarna made Karnei Barzel. He made horns of iron. He made separate horns of iron. And he said, Koyamar Hashem, Be'ela Tinaga Chasaram. With these, you should go ahead symbolically and you should gore the nation of Aram. So what do you see over here? You see the lashon of Tinagach, lashon nun gimel ches, and you see earlier on it says what? The Karnei Barzel. So you see that what? Keren is accomplished what? With Negicha. It's synonymous with Negicha. That's what this pasuk is defining just Negicha, that it's Bekeren. And of course, it says, Tinagach, the action, the verb of Tinagach should be accomplished through Karnei Barzel, through Karnei, through Keren. So therefore, when it says in the Torah, Ki Yigach ish eshar ish isha, that Ki Yigach is also with Keren. V'oimer, a second pasuk, and the Gemara, of course, is going to ask in a second, why do you need a second pasuk? B'chor sharoi hardalo, the Karnei re'em karnov, this is in the Torah proper, B'hem amim yenagach, the Karnei re'em, the Karnei of a re'em is some type of animal, could be a rhinoceros. Amim yenagach should what? Again, the lashon of yenagach, so you have two psukim. One by a pasuk in Navi, you have one a pasuk in Navi in Malachim, and the one in the Varim. Now, the difference between the two is the one in the Navi is not a natural Keren. You're making an unnatural Keren. You're making the Keren of iron. The one described in the Varim is describing one that's attached to an animal called the Re'im. It's a natural thing. Okay. The Chitema, you're going to say, why do I need the second pasuk of the Karnei Re'im? If you're going to tell me I can't define Ki Yigach in Parsha Shemos from the Karnei Barzel of Tzidkiya ben Kenana in Malachim, so I can't learn Divrei Torah, Divrei Kabbalah, because it's not the same level. Tashma B'char Shara Hadaloi, which is in Pashas Devarim, so I could learn Shmos to Devarim. That would be a reason you'd say the second pasuk. V'hai melefu. This is not a limud. Kili milsa ba'almahu. This is a Gili Milsa Ba'alma. It's just what? It's a Gili Milsa Ba'alma, meaning I'm not learning anything from there. I'm defining. I'm not learning there's a din of Negicha. I know there's a din of Negicha. It says, Isha. All I'm learning is this Yigach is how? Is through a Keren. In other words, I'm teaching a word. I'm learning that. That you could learn from the Kabbalah. That I can learn from anywhere. I mean, I'm just defining something. So that, therefore, the Negicha b'Kerenhu. Oh, so Elowat, Ma'ud if I would have just said the pasuk of the Karnei Barzel of Tzidkim and Kanana, here's, I would say, Ki Poligrach Mona being Tam Lamuid, Hani Mili Betlusha. Pirish. In the Parsha of Keren, there's two Parshas. There's a Parsha of Tam and Parsha of Muid. A Tam pays Chatzi Nezek, a Tam pays Mikufo, he doesn't pay Mimian Aliyah, doesn't pay from the house. Nafkamin is in Halacha. And I would say, you know where that Parsha exists? Similar to the Taich of Tzidkim and Kanana. If my animal would go ahead, take his mouth, chomp down on a Keren, go and gore with that, such a Meshuna Dika crazy thing. It's Meshuna, one of the characteristics of Keren that it's unusual. I would say such an unusual thing, then you pay Chatzi Nezek. But I would think when the Shor Avod Mechuberes, says the Gemara, but where it's naturally, it's connected to the Shor, right? Then I would say what? I'd say it's a mood the first time. Comes along Karnei Re'aim, which is attached to the animal normal, and still we say that what? It's Tanaga. I still remember, this is the first Masechta I learned, and I was really learning. I had a dream then, and my kasha was in my dream, so what do I need the first pasuk for? What's the first pasuk telling me? If you're telling me, I know there's a parsha of Tam and Muid, there's a parsha of Tam. By what? By Karni Re'aim, by a natural, right? So what do I need the pasuk? What? Tzidkim and Kanana, what am I gaining by that? I had that question in my dream. I didn't get an answer in my dream. I asked my Rosh Hashiva. I don't remember what he answered. It's the Shittim Kubetzos answers the kasha. The Shittim Kubetzos answers the kasha. But I still remember that uniquely. I had that dream. Well, I never haven't. I think it was the last time I dreamed of learning, almost 50 years ago. Anyway, fine. Right, as it's true confessions. Toshma, Bichar Sharai Hadaloi. Okay, so therefore the pasuk you say Bichar Sharai Hadaloi Kanirim Kana. Good. Okay, guys. So now we know what's the Av. Guys, what's the Av? Keren, with a horn, right? That's the Av. What's the told of the Keren Mahi? Negifa, pushing with the body. Neshicha, biting. Ravitza, crouching down upon Kalim. Be'ita, kicking. And all these with kavana to do damage. Again, all these kavana to do damage, even though the biological part of the animal is not necessarily a horn. But what does it have in common with the horn? Just like it has kavanah with its horns to do damage, so too over here it has kavanah lahazik. Maishna negicha dekorele av. What do you call negicha an av? The ksiv kiyigach. Negifa nami ksiv. Yigaf also is a pasuk in the Torah, guys. The pasuk says v'chiyigaf shar ish es shareyeyu. Kiyigach is speaking about a shar goring a person. Kiyigaf is a shar goring another shar. If you're telling me that an av is written in the Torah, the gifa is written in the Torah. The gifa is written in the Torah. And for the Gemara, that kiyigaf in the Torah is negicha. Obvious question, then why are you changing, right? That negifa in the Torah is negicha. So the told is pushing with the body. The negifa that is in the Torah is with the horn. The Tanya, Pasach bin negifa. It begins what? Bi negifa. It says it begins with negifa. Higaf sharish v'sayim bin negicha, and it ends up. The pasuk ends up describing the pasuk ends up describing negicha. What's the pasuk in the Torah? It says. And then the next pasuk it says, guys, you hear? So the first one's by so it's speaking about the same action, and it switches from you switch to the lashon negicha. Why do you go ahead and switch to tell me the act of negif of yigoif is negicha. So the obvious question is, why do you use that lashon in the first place, right? Why use the lashon in the first one? Again, so question, pushing negifa is an av, because it's written in the Torah. Teretz is not the av. The av is Keren. And when it says ki yigoif in the Torah, it means Keren. Proof, because it says, as it says that, it says, what's the lashon again? That you know, then the nogach, and that's going on the same pasuk. So therefore, you see that it means negicha means negifa. Says negifa means negicha. Says the Gemara, umayshna gabi adam dechsiv ki yigach, as it says ki yigach sharish es isha yisha umayshna gabi behema dechsiv ki yigach. Now the Torah seems to mean the problem. Means like there's two things. Negicha is the shor goes out of its way to go ahead, and the gifa is mashma, it turns to the side and it's right there, like you just boom. So what's the difference? Says the Gemara the following. Right? That it says lashon of ki yigaif. Adam de islay mazla, a person that has mazel, ksiv ki yigach. Behema de leslay mazla, ksiv ki yigaif. Okay, it says Rashi. It's a very, very, very nice Rashi, guys. Mazla, sheyesh das lishmar es gufay. He has an ability to watch his body. There it says ki yigach. The vadi niskaven ashor loharoy. Vadi niskaven, since he can watch himself. In other words, he can watch himself from the shore, and therefore, if the shore went out to get him, uboy love bekoyach. Al v'nekifa havi mashma shematzay oime b'dachay b'karna. We just found it over there, and he just turned around and got it. Lishnach rino islay mazel. He has mazel. The eina noyach lamisay b'nekifa, and it's harder to kill him b'nekifa. The chifa is keren ma'at. El b'nekicha the koyach u'b'kavona u'b'chatichas keren b'guf. The lashon of kiyigach is mashma a penetration, a deep penetration of the horns. The kif is mashma a little penetration. So two possibilities. By Adam that he can watch himself, it says kiyigach. The animal had to go out his way to get him. The animal doesn't watch himself. It's kiyigach. Or an Adam, to kill an Adam has a mazel, it's much harder to kill him. And therefore, and speaking about where you killed him, it has a lashon of yigach, he had to do more of an action, as opposed to the kifa, which is less of an action. Finishes the Gemara. Since it's harder to get an Adam, if the shor is a mu'id to an Adam, then it's melam a mu'id to a smaller an animal, because it accomplishes a greater act of hezek, and it's done it 3 times that were muhsik, that it's what it is a mu'id. So for the higher level, it's for the lower level. So for the Adam, which is the higher level, mu'la behema lo yavi mu'la Adam. And so mu'la behema is not mu'la Adam. Rashi brings also that a person has a mazel that watches, has a malach that watches over him. So it's harder to kill a person. It's harder. A mazel is lashon of malach. That a person has a malach, therefore use lashon of yigach, which is a harder lashon to get. Okay, now. So therefore, the first tolda was negifa. We're asking negifa is negicha. It's written in the Torah. It's not. The negifa of the Torah is negicha. Good. Now neshicha. For Gemara, the next one was tolda was neshicha. Tolda the shein he. It's a tolda shein, right? Loi shein yesh hanala zeka. Shein has hanal when it does damage. Ha'ein hanala zeka. Again, the defining quality of shein, as we saw briefly on the chart, was hana. Over here, when it shoises, it doesn't have hana, right? When it bites, it doesn't have hana. So good, it did it with its tooth, but it doesn't go ahead and just because it did it with its tooth, it doesn't mean it's shein. Shein is hana, but when it bites, it's the same thing as when it gores. It has kavana to do damage, right? The next one was revitza, ubeita. Both accomplished told of the regel. Revitza, it has to lower its legs to crouch upon. Beita, it has to kick. So again, the same kasha, it's doing with that part of its anatomy. So l'chayr should be told a regel. The one says no. A regel is a zeku matzui. The defining quality of regel is it's very often, it's a very common type of damage. It's a fender bender as opposed to it's common. You're going to scratch your car up, right? And hani ain't a zeku matzui. But it's not common for an animal to go ahead and crouch on a kalim or to kick. So now these are all the toldas of Keren. The toldas of Keren, the Kifa and the Shicha, Revitza and Be'ita. And now we want to know, are those toldas like horn. Are they like doing damage with the avatuma? Says the Gemara. Elatola say and lav kiyotze. So therefore, they're all the same, right? In other words, you didn't tell me a distinction between the two. So Rav Papa made a statement that told us saying a lav kiyotze, right? That sometimes yes, sometimes no. This is one where they're the same. There's no difference, right? Dom Rav Papa, hey, Ilema Hani. If you can see Rav Papa said on Karen and it's told us, Maishna Karen the Kavanah is lahazik, umemoincha, it's your money, ushmirasan lecha, and you have a chiyuv to watch. Hani nami, all of these Kavanah lahazik, umemoincha shmar lecha. So just to finish up for this evening, we have the av of Karen is with the horn. The tolda is Nagifa, body, Neshicha, biting, Revitza, crouching down upon, Beita, kicking. They all have the same commonality, that they're all Kavanas Lahazik. All Kavanas Lahazik. There is no difference between the tolda and the av. So Rav Papa said that some are like them and some not like them. In our analyzation of Karen, apparently they're exactly the same. And that can't be where Rav Papa was making his comment. And Bez Hashem, we'll see what the Bez Hashem tomorrow with the rest. Tomorrow will be in the morning about 9:15. Tomorrow morning about 9:15.
Good. Thank you.
We're going to say Kapitel Tehillim. I just don't have a Tehillim.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to say Kapitel